This is what I think we're going to be taking out today. Hi guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing and to another video where you join me where I'm in my BMW M8 just about to depart for what is going to be an epic day ahead. As you may be aware, I have a bit of a racing background myself, racing all around the world, etc. from a very young age to, well, more news coming on my racing very shortly on my channel. An announcement is due, but also I have friends who are in the same sort of industry, and some of them have very nice cars. People who have raced in certain series around the world and won big accolades and everything else. They have cool cars, and it's a bit like when I show footballers cars. I like to show sort of what sort of people are buying. Well, in the racing driver world, I'm going to show you today what the Formula 2 champion has in his car collection. My friend, he won the Formula 2 championship. He was Formula 2 champion. Before Formula 2, he raced in different series around the world, such as I think he did some Formula 3. He was runner-up in Formula Renault, and he's raced at Le Mans, which I've done as well. But he's been lucky enough to be able to get some pretty cool supercars and cars in his life. I'm gonna catch up with him and how it was all possible and everything else, and see the cars, because they are very, very cool. And yeah, he's got some good stories as well of his own racing as well. Time. Oh baby. And ladies and gentlemen, we are nearly at 10,000 miles. 8,732 on the M8. Oh yeah, full drive power available shortly. I thought that was when I did my running in service, I thought that meant that you're gonna get full power soon. No, I'm completely wrong, because it's still there. So that shows what I know about cars. I tell you what, how good and cool does the M8 look under the lights? I know some people might not think it might not look good, you might think it looks terrible, but it does look cool with that setting, doesn't it? Here they are behind me. So this is effectively the orange crew. My friend Luciano Barchetta, you're going to see him in a minute. He's going to maybe show us around and show us the cars. But you may have seen we featured the McLaren 570. I was actually interested in buying one of them at one point, and the Performante. So we're going to see both of them, and also I think I'm taking out the Performante as well. Cool. 570, he's going to tell us more about this. I did explain it quite a lot in a video before, but if you haven't seen that, there's quite a lot that you need to know about this 570 as well. And then the Perf, and why he seems to get stopped by the police every 5 seconds. Maybe he'll tell us that, because that seems to be something which happens quite a lot in this. It might be because his number plate is there. Like I say, this is what I think we're going to be taking out today in terms of me, on my own, obviously. But I think they do look really, really cool. But this 570, I think this must be one of the highest mileage 570s in the world. Right, here we are. We have the cars lined up. This is Luch. How are we? Good, you? Yeah, very cool. First time I've seen these two together. I know, they're nuts, aren't they? They are very cool. Originally, you're a racing driver. Yeah. So you didn't plan to get supercars? No, not at all. But you did other businesses, right? Yeah, did other businesses, and started to get annoyed with racing and the situations, and just found that it's weird. Like when I was younger, I didn't like supercars at all, because you always knew that a racing car was so much better. But then as I've kind of grown up, I really like them. So Luch won Formula 2 in 2012.
Barchetta exits on this penultimate lap of the race, and he's now right in the slipstream of Marinescu. Marinescu blocks him to the inside. Barchetta cuts back to the outside. He's going to send it all the way around the outside. Fantastic move from Luciano Barchetta. So close to touching the wheel of Marinescu. And on the penultimate lap, Barchetta's in the lead.
I think it was just as hard as yesterday, but in a different way.
Williams Formula 1 test you got as a reward. As a prize, and then you were trying to get a Formula 1 contract, and then you realised you needed 100 million. Yeah. Renault Euro Cup.
Oh, Formula Renault. Yeah, that was before F2 though.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Let's say vice champion.
Just say vice champion. It's way better. Originally, you got this one, right?
Yes, I got this in the end of 2017.
Yeah.
And at the time, I know I do some stuff for McLaren now.
Yeah.
Before all of that, I hadn't actually driven one. And
570.
I just really wanted a car where the doors go up. Like that was it. Like for me, it was a car where the doors go up.
Just sell the house, get a car where the doors go up. Because this car, people might not be aware, but this has done 22,000 miles.
But yeah, it's been good. And it's still so clean. It's got PPF all over. So
oh, so this has been PPF'd, okay. Your ownership, you've never had a problem?
No, I've not had a problem. So So I see it as like my reliable car. So if it's snowing, I'll go out in that. More grip. And if it's like a wet day, or if you gave me like a country lane and were like, you need to get down that I've never driven on before.
Yeah.
Like, right, you need to get down that as fast as you can. I'll jump on that. Because the nose is great on this, and
oh wow.
that much easier to kind of jump in and be quick. And it's on normal P0s and not.
Oh, okay.
So in winter and stuff, it's just better.
And value for money. Lots of people DM'd you wanting to buy your car actually after I made a video on this. But it's currently not for sale, maybe in the summer, who knows. But
It will be at some stage,
it was, they're like 70, 80 grand now, it's madness. How did the Performante come about?
Matt from Lambo Hangar slid in my DMs.
Classic! So he slid in your DMs and said, would you like to buy?
He got in touch about an Evo, and he invited me to a Millbrook day to try out the Evo, which was hilarious because obviously I'm a racing driver, and I got there and it was all racing driver instructors and I was a customer.
You're like, hang on a minute, I'm meant to be, yeah, okay,
I jumped in the car and I knew the instructor. He was like, do I recognise you from somewhere? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I just won F2, but I'm looking to buy one of these.
When the Evo first come out,
Yes.
so expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just couldn't justify putting that much money.
200 grand probably at the time.
It was all like on PCP, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then I just asked him, I was like, what's the turf like? Like, how does it cost up and stuff? And obviously, this I got it like, it was a year old.
Year old.
It had already taken a bit of a hit, and they were just really strong. So even now, I've had it for a
I was just about to say that. We were just on the phone, well, we were messaging earlier, and this is actually exactly that. You bought this over a year ago at Christmas,
Yeah.
and it's exactly the same price as when you bought it.
Yeah, well, like,
how many miles have you done in it?
Like, I've done 5,000
That's quite good for you.
since I bought it.
It's actually
Maybe 7.
maybe 70, but no. Kind of like your dailies.
Yeah.
Mate, forget racing. I mean, you've kind of done it, but you're looking back to get back into racing, aren't you? That's one thing. You're not retired. You've done your businesses, but you might get back into it.
Yeah.
If a sponsor comes along, you're in. There you go. Anyone watching this, just go on. Actually, slide into his DMs. He loves that. Start it up. Oh, these cars are good. So nice, ladies and gentlemen, to be back in the Huracan Performante. It's just so cool when you look at it and you just think that is a bit of me. And so many people have been saying when it, oh, it's turned off. It's got the start stop. Turn that off. So many people said when are you next going to get a supercar? But this brings back so many memories that just tempts me in so many ways. You jump in something like this, you know, this is what I'm missing. This is generally what I'm missing. The fun factor, the uncomfortableness, everything about it. It's just cool. So sick. I'm like a kid at Christmas. I just missed this. I missed this. And also, I didn't want to make a video being like, I'm buying my next supercar now, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Because I know you don't really like that. But would a perf be cool on my channel? I've even looked at 600 LTs. I've even looked at 570s for the cheap one. I looked at that for a whole year last year, never did it. But this brings back like a lot. And if you really want to risk everything in a Huracan Performante, is put it into Corsa. If you want to risk everything, that is. I've seen some accidents of people doing it at Corsa because when one of these goes, it just goes. So even in my Lambo, obviously you have Strada, you have Sport, you have Corsa. I never left Sport because it still has traction control on in Sport. The moment you go to Corsa, I think maybe there's a little bit of traction control, but it's pretty much you're on your own, mate. You launch that in the wall, you're on your own. We told you not to do that and you went and did it anyway. It's a bit like that. Luch is very, very down to earth. His racing achievements are no joke. In terms of Formula Renault Vice Champion and won Formula 2, which the Formula 2 is kind of a little bit different to the Formula 2 now, but it was Formula 2 at the time, and he won that. The only reason he never made Formula 1 is because his family didn't have the money for him to make Formula 1. At the end of the day, I think he needed £10 million to secure a seat in Formula 1. And racing is very expensive, and he didn't have that money at the time. I've seen him driving everything, and he is unbelievable. So he's very down to earth about it, but he had every accolade in his name pretty much to make Formula 1. If you win Formula 2 and you don't make it, that is just such bad luck. And now he's not racing, he's not, you know, he's gone away, he's built these businesses up, and he's driving a McLaren and a Lamborghini. And you've got to just sit back and give a lot of respect for that, because there are a lot of racing drivers in the world today that all they do is hunt for that drive, hunt for their dream, which you should do. But he stepped away and he, you know, built these businesses up. They're successful and he's allowed to drive this, and now he's trying to get back into racing. But a guy whose dream was taken away from doing Formula 1, so close to now driving cars like these, you've got to sit back and go, flip it out. Because racing is so expensive. When I did racing, Formula Renault, the Formula Renault he did must have been £300,000 a year. £300,000 a year. Formula 3, £1 million a year. You need £1 million a year to go and do Formula 3. And then Formula 2, you now, these days, you need £2 million a year. You cannot do Formula 2 unless you have £2 million a year. So £2 million a year, and if you win it, there's no guarantee that you got the next step. That's why he never made it effectively, because of the money factor. Even when I did things like Le Mans 24 Hours, you got to raise £100,000 to do one race back in the day. Now, if you want to do Le Mans 24 Hours, you need £250,000 per driver. So it's not, you know, you need a big sponsor now or something, or a big break. But like I say, he's gone away, he's built this up, and as you can see, it's pretty damn cool. Let's say you're a racing driver, you've got all your drive lined up, you've got everything, all your ducks in a row, everything to be in that car for that season, right? Then someone comes along with 500 grand, maybe a family money or something else, they'll get the drive. You've lost your job. Your job's just gone because someone's got more money. That's the only downside to racing. But when you've got businesses backed up like he's done, and you know, cars and everything else, then the pressure's off a little bit. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Taking out the Perf was seriously good fun, and it's such a good car. It's made me want a supercar again, which is really bad, but I know a lot of you guys do want to see a supercar again on the channel. It will happen. Do not panic, it will happen, but it just gives you that feeling of just, you're driving something chaotic. Obviously the M8, the RS6, they're still insane, but something about a supercar, it's special. And yeah, massive thanks to Luch. I'll leave all of his details down below. Go give him a follow on Instagram, etc. I'll leave it on the screen, as you can see now as well. And yeah, follow his racing career. Hopefully now he's done all the bits behind the scenes and got cool supercars, he'll be back in a racing car. Fingers crossed. And I hope you guys enjoyed my chat as well, of an in-depth of the costs of going motor racing. A lot. It costs a lot of money, put it that way. But hopefully we'll see him back on the grid soon, and his Perf and his 570 look insane. What good value for money a 570 is. Mad. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up, leave those comments down below as always, and I'll see you all very soon.